The Secret of the Singing Shell. Lena lived in a small, noisy town where the sounds of cars, chatter, and music from open windows all blended together into a constant hum. It was a friendly sound, but sometimes Lena longed for a different kind of noise. A quieter, more magical sound. One blustery afternoon, she was exploring the windy beach, her favorite place to think. The wind whipped her hair and stole the shouts of playing children away. As she walked, a glint of pearly white caught her eye, half buried in the wet sand. It was a conch shell, larger than her hand, with a smooth, swirling interior the color of a pink sunrise. It was the most beautiful shell she had ever seen. She picked it up to add to her collection, and as she did, the wind whistled across its opening. Whoo! It was a deep, low note, like a foghorn from a distant ship. Lena jumped, then giggled. She put the shell to her ear, expecting to hear the ocean everyone talked about. But she didn't hear waves. She heard a voice. It was faint, watery, and very, very sad. Lost. I'm lost. Lena nearly dropped the shell. She looked around. No one was nearby. She cautiously put the shell back to her ear. Can anyone hear me? The current was too strong. The voice was coming from inside the shell. Lena, who was a very kind and very brave girl, knew she had to answer. Hello? She whispered into the shell's opening. I can hear you. Who are you? Where are you? There was a gasp of surprise from the other end. You can hear me? Oh, thank the tides. I'm Coralie. I'm a young merguide. My pod was migrating to the summer coral reefs, but a powerful current swept me away. I'm hiding in a small cave, but I don't know where I am. Everything looks strange. Lena's heart beat with excitement. A real mermaid! And she was lost! Don't worry, Coralie, Lena said, her voice full of determination. I'll find you. Can you describe what you see? The sand here is very dark, almost black. Coralie's watery voice echoed. And there are giant sharp rocks that look like a stone forest. And I can hear a deep, groaning sound. Lena knew that beach. It was Black Sand Cove. On the other side of the cliffs, the stone forest was the jagged rock formations, and the groaning sound was the old metal buoy that rocked in the waves near the cave. I know where you are, Lena exclaimed. Stay there, I'm coming. Lena ran all the way home, clutching the singing shell. She filled her backpack with a towel, a bottle of water, and a rope from the garage just in case. She pedaled her bicycle as fast as the wind to the path that led to Black Sand Cove. It was a place she was usually not allowed to go alone because of the tricky tides. But today was an emergency. When she arrived, the scene matched Coralie's description perfectly. Black sand, jagged rocks, and the groaning buoy. She scrambled over the slippery rocks until she found the entrance to a small sea cave half filled with water. Coralie? She called out, her voice echoing. A head of hair the color of sea foam peeked out from behind a rock. Two wide, anxious eyes the color of aquamarines looked at her. Coralie the mermaid was real, and her shimmering silver tail flicked nervously in the water. You found me, Coralie said, her voice no longer just in the shell but ringing through the cave, sweet and clear like a bell. But the tide is coming in. My tail got scraped on the rocks when the current pulled me in. I'm not strong enough to swim against it to get out. Lena looked at the narrow cave entrance. The water was already rising. She had an idea. She took the rope from her backpack and tied one end to a sturdy rock outside the cave. Hold on to this, she said, throwing the other end to Coralie. I'll pull, and you can use your tail to push. Lena planted her feet in the black sand and pulled with all her might. Coralie pushed against the cave wall. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, Coralie began to move. With one final big heave, Lena pulled her free from the cave and into the open water of the cove. Coralie flipped her tail joyfully. You did it! You saved me! Just then, they heard it. A beautiful, melodic series of whistles and clicks coming from farther out to sea. It's my pod! Coralie cried with delight. They're looking for me! She turned to Lena, her eyes shining. Thank you, Lena. I will never forget you. She reached into a small woven net bag at her side and pulled out a small, perfect pearl that glowed with a soft blue light. A sea pearl, she said, so you will never forget me either. If you ever need to talk, just whisper to the shell. The ocean will carry your voice to me. With a flick of her powerful tail, Coralie dove under a wave and was gone, swimming toward the beautiful singing of her family. Lena walked home, tired, sandy, and happier than she had ever been. That night, she placed the glowing sea pearl next to the singing shell on her bedside table. Sometimes, when the town is too noisy, she picks up the shell. She doesn't always hear Coralie, but sometimes, if she listens very closely, she hears the distant, happy songs of the merpods celebrating, and she'll whisper into the shell, telling Coralie about her day. For Lena, the town isn't so noisy anymore, because now, underneath the cars and the chatter, she can always hear the magical, silent memory of the ocean's song and the secret of her very own singing shell.